So I'm completely excited to talk about this completely accurate, 100% accurate film. Weird. I know the fact checkers were working overtime on this one for sure.
Yes.
You know, so yeah, maybe you took a few liberties, but there are some things. So I want to, kind of separate the fact from the fiction. It's the whole Madonna thing and the fact that, without giving too much away, she approaches you and uses you, evil woman that she is, because she wants that, that juicy Yankovic bump. There's this big plot point about the Yankovic bump, that basically when you parody a song, a real life song by a real life artist, it causes their sales or their streams to spike.
There are some nuggets of truth sprinkled throughout the movie, most of which sound as fake as everything else, but they're absolutely true. And this Yankovic bump thing is actually one of the things that's based in reality, because I have heard, from a number of artists that their sales went up when my parody came out. We heard from Nirvana's label profusely thanking me. They said, "Oh, we sold like another 1,000,000 units of Nevermind after Smells Like Nirvana came out." I don't have all the data in front of me, but it's sort of it'll certainly happen more than once.
I'm surprised you don't have the data in front of you with all the fact checkers you had to,
You'd think that.
I think it's hilarious that there are people who think a lot of this is real, but we all know that all biopics take liberties. If you watch Bohemian Rhapsody or whatever, when you watch Rocketman, Elton John, I'm pretty sure he didn't levitate at the Troubadour when he played. We all take the liberties.
But like that, like in the Troubadour, I mean, we know that they didn't levitate, but some people will probably think, oh, he really did play Crocodile Rock at the Troubadour, even though he hadn't written that until 4 years later. It's just like the little things like that they changed, which drove me nuts. Why did you change that? And you have to realize it's not a documentary, it's a Hollywood biopic, it's entertainment. But it drove me, as a fan, it drove me crazy. So I thought, when I do my biopic, we're just throwing facts out the window. Who cares?
I'm really excited to think of all the Weird Al super fans who your super fans will get what you are, but maybe other people will be like, wait a minute, that's not how My Bologna got written. But since we are separating the fact from the fiction, I actually do want to know how you first wrote My Bologna, because that's a big kind of turning point, very walk hard, walk the line, Bohemian Rhapsody kind of scene where you have this epiphany with the luncheon meat. What actually happened?
It was nothing like the movie, obviously. That's the thing with these, the music biopics, is it's hard to show inspiration striking, because when inspiration strikes, usually you're in a room by yourself and you're kind of glazed over and you go, oh, yeah, I'll do that. Which is not very cinematic, so you have to embellish it a little bit and make it more palatable for the audience.
But like I said, obviously there are references to real things that happen. There is a reference at the very end to Coolio. We all know that you had, some differences with Coolio, but patched things up. And I saw on the day he passed, you posted a nice tribute on your Instagram with the two of you embracing. I guess I just wonder, if you thought about, in light of the fact that he passed, does that hit different to you? Did you think about maybe removing that reference since it's so small?
Yeah, I mean, the picture was locked, and I, if Coolio had passed while we were editing, that would have been a discussion. But it was sort of the train had left the building. In fact, it was a little embarrassing, or awkward at least, when the day that the movie premiered at the Toronto International Film Festival was the day that Queen Elizabeth died, and there's a bit with Queen Elizabeth during the end credits, and people were like, oh. It just hit really weird. So same thing with Coolio. I mean, obviously, that cameo isn't hitting the same way that I was intending it to hit. But I mean, obviously Coolio and I had patched things up and we were on good terms, and it's a joke, and I was hoping that he would be around to see it in the movie, and I would have hoped that he would have gotten a kick out of it.
I went to the Beyond Fest and they had the Q&A. Someone said a question, said, it's dark humor. They went, Queen Elizabeth, Coolio, is this a cursed film? I was like, no, don't say that.
Everybody in this movie will eventually die.
So speaking of cursed films, is this the ultimate revenge for the unsung UHF? You know how I feel about UHF.
Oh, thank you. I don't look at it in terms of revenge, but it's a rebirth. You know, it's amazing to me and gratifying that on top of the fans' reaction, it's actually getting great critical reviews, which UHF certainly did not back in 1989 when it came out. And people kind of come around to it, and they look at it very nostalgically now, and it's a cult classic. But it did not get good reviews, and this movie is getting good reviews. It's 93% on Rotten Tomatoes right now, which is not shabby.
When UHF did not get the success that I feel and your fans feel it deserved, I mean, that hurt, didn't it? Like, you put a lot into that.
Yeah, because I mean, you know, not only did I put a lot into it, but it was built up so much. Orion Pictures had tested it with audiences, and the test scores were through the roof, and it was like one of their highest testing movies ever. And they thought, oh, we're gonna put this out in the middle of this blockbuster summer, and this is gonna be a cash cow, and this is gonna be a start of a long movie career for you. And I was being built up like this, and then literally after the first weekend, when it underperformed at the box office, I was a ghost. I was a ghost at Orion Pictures. Nobody wanted to establish eye contact. It was really weird, and it was just kind of, it was just, odd to have the rug pulled out from under me like that, because I was getting built up so much, and then within a couple days, nothing. So that was kind of devastating, and it took me kind of a while. I don't know if I would say I was depressed, because I've always been a pretty, happy, up kind of guy, but it was not pleasant, and I probably had a couple years of licking my wounds before I could kind of come back and, be creative again.
And 33 years before you could have another film, so I'm rooting for all the Oscars for Weird. I know in the song that's in the end credits, you say that it's eligible. You say in the lyrics that it's eligible for an Oscar.
I have to say that's yet another lie, because as it turns out, the movie will not be Oscar eligible. I've been begging Roku channel for months to make it eligible, which all that would involve is like letting it play in a theater in LA for 1 week. They do not want to do that because here's the logic. I don't quite agree with it, but they said that they would rather have a creative arts Emmy than an Oscar because they're in the TV business, not the movie business.
Come on, Roku.
Yeah, believe me, I've tried. They put their foot down, so it's not actually going to be Oscar eligible, but maybe an Emmy. We'll see.
I feel, retroactive Oscar for UHF. If you can't have one for Weird. Justice for UHF, but congratulations on this completely factual, 100% accurate film, doing so well critically, and hopefully maybe we can, bend some rules and get you into the Oscars. I want to see you perform at the Oscars.
Okay.
in the same outfit you wear, without spoiling anything, one of the award show scenes in this movie.
Okay. Well, thanks, Lyndsey.
Well, thank you, Al. Congratulations on everything. It's always great to speak with you, and I'm looking forward to Weird 2, Electric Boogaloo.